Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about why this Dyna is banned in New York City. Let's check it out. What's going on YouTube? FX Sales Brooklyn is back in the building. And yeah, one reason is I don't think it meets the current sound ordinance of definitely waking up the suburbs out here over at the road captain's house. But yeah, man, we just got this bike back, and it's currently 5:30 in the morning, and I'm actually ripping it up from Long Island back upstate to Mike over at O'Toole's to get some brakes done. So yeah. Try to take it down a little bit so I can talk to y'all. So yeah, that is one of the reasons why I would say this bike is no longer very suitable for the riding in New York City. As you can see, you are doing 100 plus miles per hour at the snap of a finger. It's really, really easy to go insanely fast with this bike. And some of you see the riding that I do in Brooklyn, New York City, and you probably noticed that on my Dynas or my FXRs, I'm rarely leaving second gear. You know, it is what it is. It's a lot of, the environment is what it is, and it's a lot of first, it's a lot of second gear. This bike wants to be doing 80 plus miles per hour at all times, and that's a very rare thing to be doing in the confines of New York City. And of course, we're going to get someone in the comments section saying, what do you know, brother? I do 100 miles per hour down Broadway every day. But let's be real, no one's sustaining that amount of speed. So yeah, the first reason is 100%, man, just the amount of power that this bike is making. It doesn't make sense to have it in New York City. The second reason is even after dyno tuning this damn thing, it gets hot, man. You know, it's okay now because I strategically got up at 5 in the morning to do the miles that I have to do. But the bike definitely gets hot and it doesn't want to do stop and go. So I'm doing my best to not put this bike in situations where it is doing any stop and go. It just doesn't want to do that type of riding. So that's not the type of riding we're doing on this bike, right? I'd say the third reason is just with the current paint job and the motor and everything. It's like, y'all know the situation, man. Like, in New York City, things have a tendency to go missing. And honestly, man, I wouldn't be surprised if I parked this thing at the bodega to get a breakfast sandwich and came outside and had this thing be gone. You know, it's got a hot paint job, it's got a hot motor, you know. The two outcomes of how this bike is going to go, which is totaled in a wreck or stolen, are very real, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing be lifted, especially in New York City. So definitely got this thing fully insured for that reason. But yeah, for those of you who ask me, you know, like, where's all the city ride content with that bike? Anyone who's run a hot rod build or even an FXRT build just knows that, or an FXRT build with lowers just knows that those builds, especially combined, do not make it ideal to be doing tight city riding, you know? Like, obviously, I can lane split with this bike, but one of the downsides to riding a DX and riding an FXR in conjunction with this build is then every time I get on this bike after riding my DX or my FXR, all of a sudden this bike to me feels like a bagger. It feels really heavy. It feels like it's really hard to throw it around in those situations. So I do not like to lane split with this bike if I don't have to. Also, just whenever I do lane split with this bike, I feel like the motor is going to straight up melt just from doing the clutch work and everything that you have to do. So That's why, you know, we say that this bike is the FX DLS. I nickname it. I don't really name most of my bikes, but I name this bike Banned in NYC because it 100% is that. You know, and that's also a tribute to the Bad Brain song Banned in DC, so. That's what's up, man. That's why you don't see me doing too many city miles with this one. Anyone, again, who runs these types of builds knows what I'm talking about. That's it. I hope that addresses that question, as always. Whether you're running a hot rod build or something a little bit more chill, stay safe out there and stay low. Outride the demons, and on that, FX Brooklyn is out.